What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Resleevables Tournament Edition. I'm your host, Cedric Phillips, at Cedric A. Phillips on all the things, and I am joined by giant trapdoor spiders' greatest enemy, Patrick Sullivan at Basic Mountain on Twitter. What a pro tour.
What a pro tour. Love Stormbind. If you're a regular to the channel, you know Stormbind, personal favorite of mine, because largely I got one in a pack once, and it was good enough at the time to just be my friends if I drew a Stormbind. That was the first card I ever had like that.
Good card.
So to see Stormbind in a Pro Tour winning deck makes me very happy.
We, as the title suggests, are going to be doing a little retrospective on Pro Tour Columbus 1996, won by the Sylvan Safekeeper, Olle Rade, who, well, from my research, I found that this Pro Tour, and most notably Olle's deck, is made fun of a lot.
Yes. It is considered by some to be the worst deck of all time that won a Pro Tour.
Mm-hmm.
However, compared to the other decks in the top 8, my opinion is it's quite a bit better.
Yeah. And
from a sort of fundamental strategic level, there's a lot of really impressive stuff going on there, which we'll get into in a little bit. But there are a lot of cards in that deck that are funny. I'm not trying to deny that, but there is something that you can take some wisdom from under the surface.
I will say, nowadays in Magic, we're recording this in 2024. I hope someone watches this in like 2032, but we're recording this in 2024. Nowadays, all the cards are really good.
Mm-hmm.
There are like no bad cards in anyone's deck. It's just which of the good cards do you want to play? Well, Olle really didn't have that choice. And to be fair to his opponents, they didn't really either. So I could see why some would suggest that this is the worst Pro Tour winning deck.
Well, remember, we're talking about Ice Age block constructed.
Boy, are we.
2 sets that are legal. Alliances, relatively small, though pretty powerful for the time.
Mm-hmm.
Ice Age, not a lot of hitters there.
No.
For a large set, there's not a lot of quote-unquote playable cards to pull from.
Mm-hmm.
And you may wonder, well, certainly things have to be playable, even if the cards are weaker on average.
Yep.
We're all just talking about relative power levels, so how would you be straining? Going through Ice Age and trying to find cards that can deal damage, attack and block, kill a creature, there's not a whole lot of that there.
No, there's not. No, there's not. And fortunately for you, fine folks, you're going to get to watch us play these decks a little bit later in the video. But first, we start where we always start, with the facts of Pro Tour Columbus 1996. All right, everybody, we are here for the facts of Pro Tour Columbus 1996. But before we do get started, as always, we must start with our wonderful friends over at Tales of Adventure.
You can head over to toamagic.com and check out a selection of over 77,000 SKUs in stock, including 80 pieces of the Power 9, every single revised dual land, and 99% of standard cards for those of you playing in standard RCQs this season. Every order placed with Tales of Adventure comes with free track shipping. UPS next day and 2-day shipping is offered for orders placed before 8 a.m. And Tales of Adventure has completed over 1 million orders lifetime, so you know you'll be in good hands with Michael Caffrey and his staff. If you'll be attending an event that Tales of Adventure will be at, when you're checking out, you can select the event pickup option, so you can simply pick up the cards you've ordered right at the event you'll be at. You can find a list of events that Tales of Adventure will be at attending on their homepage, toamagic.com. Lastly, when checking out, be sure to use promo code Resleevables to get 5% off your entire order. Tales of Adventure, Eternal lives here.
Alrighty, everybody, let us dive in to a wonderful Pro Tour in my home state. 2 hours from where I grew up in Columbus. That's where this Pro Tour is, and it was held July 6th and the 7th of 1996 at the Origins Game Fair, alongside U.S. Nationals, and, weirdly enough, this particular event had scheduled the Nationals top 4 as well as the Swiss portion of the Pro Tour on the same day, and that means presumably around the same time on Saturday at that Origins Game Fair. So before we even get started, I assume you've been to the Origins Game Fair a time or two.
In fact, it was the first large event that I ever traveled for.
Yeah?
Yes.
Nice.
I played in the Sideboard Team Challenge one year, which was a very cool tournament. It was basically 5v5.
Okay.
You had someone playing Extended, someone playing Vintage,
Okay.
Standard, Block Constructed, and Sealed deck of the most recent format.
Oh, this sounds awesome.
And if, it was first team to 3 wins.
Yeah.
No communication allowed.
Okay.
And I lost in the finals to Team Egghead Games.
That's an Ohio team.
Yes, it is.
I think Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I have a vague recollection that Kenny Chung might have been involved, but I'm not sure.
That feels correct.
But anyway, Origins was the first large Magic tournament that I went to. And when you think about in the United States, what are the big Magic cities in terms of events nowadays?
Mm-hmm.
You might think of Indianapolis because of Gen Con.
Yep.
You might think of Las Vegas because when they hold tournaments in Las Vegas, it's a huge deal.
Yep.
You could think of Seattle because, again, it's another city that draws a large turnout, and also Wizards of the Coast is headquartered there.
Yep.
During this era, without question, it was Columbus and Origins. That was the biggest tournament setting and sort of just general Magic con of that place and time.
So, quick origin story for me. I went there twice in like my teenage years before I turned like 18 and then started kind of going for almost every year. One of the years, my local squad, most notably, can't imagine he's watching the show, but Marty Porter. He was kind of like the really good dude.
Okay.
That I also played with, right? City over, and then I would go to his game store and he would come to our game store, right? So we became pals around Magic. It was like me, him, a couple other people, and Marty's dad drove us to the amateur championships.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Big deal.
We were also very into the amateur championships.
So the amateur championships, for those of you who don't know, was a tournament where you could play, and if you had, and correct me if I'm wrong, you had to have no pro points.
0 lifetime pro points.
Correct.
This was also a feature of Grand Prix for a while. There used to be sort of the amateur prize payout, which is the top 8 finishers who didn't have pro points before the tournament would get an extra cash prize.
Yeah.
This obviously has a terrible incentive structure where people would often want to concede out of doing well in Grand Prix to preserve their amateur status.
That's correct.
But I think the amateur championship is actually kind of a cool idea because Grand Prix are discreet enough and small enough and repeating enough that some people will think it's better for them to just drop out or whatever.
Yep.
But the amateur championships were pretty organic. It was, imagine, I don't even know what to compare it to, a state championship level tournament.
Felt like more prestigious, though.
But definitely more prestigious,
Yeah.
Branding matters. I mean, it sort of gives you the sense of the winner of this is someone to look out for in the future.
That's right. So I tell you that story because we got there late because we'd never done this before. So Marty's dad drove us down. I don't remember what information we had of like what time it started and everything else, right? But we get there and whoever's judging at the time is just like, yeah, you're late. You can't play. And Marty's dad, I'm like 14 or something. He pulls the judge aside and is like, look, they're playing. We don't have the badges or anything yet. Cause like, we just think we're going. You just have to walk in and play. We don't know anything. We're kids. And all I remember is I got to play. I had to pay for a badge. I think Marty's dad may have bought all the badges and everything. It's just like, go play. Cause we're doing the single day trip. Like we're going to go play amateur championship. And then he drives us back home.
Yeah.
Right back up north to the suburbs of Cleveland, 2 hours. So we all played. We all did pretty bad. But let me tell you, seeing that many people playing Magic in the same room was like the coolest thing of all time. So there's that one. And the second one is I went with a friend of mine maybe 2 years later. His name is Justin George. Love him to death. Him and his mom and me went. And we went for like 3 or 4 days because Justin will always go to Origins. I think he was 2 years older than me. And his mom and him had done it for a couple of years. And I got to hang out and go with him. And his mom snored a lot. And so I slept in the bathtub most nights. But I say most nights because it wasn't every night, because there was one of the nights where I just pulled the all-nighter.
Yes.
I was having so much fun playing Magic. I was like, why would I go back to the hotel room and go to sleep? I can just play all night. And if you've ever been to the Columbus Convention Center, there's a food court attached that's also open all night. So you could just game all night if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So that's where this Pro Tour was held. Pro Tour Columbus had 136 players in the seniors division. If you've been with us for previous episodes, that was also called the Masters division. There's also a juniors division. I wasn't able to find the number of players that played in the juniors division of this tournament, but what I can tell you is who did well in the juniors division of this Pro Tour in a little bit. You got to stay to find that part out. I mentioned the 136 players. Pro Tour Los Angeles, which we covered in our last episode of Tournament Edition, was a bit larger with 179 players. And then don't forget Pro Tour New York, aka Pro Tour Speed Dial, where you called in to get an invite, was still the biggest Pro Tour at the time of 239 players. Dude, can you imagine playing in a 136 player Pro Tour?
Well, remember this is going on at the same time as U.S. Nationals.
Also true.
So you're kind of, the other Pro Tours aren't competing at the same venue for top players of the game.
Yeah.
So even though it looks like the numbers going down, I'm sure if you added up the nationals numbers plus the main event numbers, it would still be showing growth.
This is known as the shortest Pro Tour ever, partly because of the size and also because the finals lasted less than 2 hours. If you remember Pro Tour Los Angeles, I think that was a Pro Tour, like the finals lasted like 4-ish hours.
My recollection was 5.
Yeah, I think it may broke
and
5.
Also playing the games ourselves, it was not surprising it went 5 hours.
Do you remember the matchup?
Yeah, it was Flood, COP, 43 card.
Oh, yeah, right.
Versus...
It was Deck You.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you and I were playing for 10K, I'm sure that would have taken us 5 hours.
Oh, yeah, we would have played way slower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay. Pro Tour Columbus, as Patrick mentioned a little bit earlier in the episode, was the first tournament to feature block constructed. This was Ice Age block constructed, which only allowed cards from Ice Age and Alliances, which is it's a tough ask.
Yep.
Not a lot of good cards there. So the decks reflect that, which we'll be getting to here shortly. Pro Tour Columbus's prize pool was significantly larger than both Pro Tour New York and Pro Tour Los Angeles, so we'll go over those here real quick. Pro Tour New York's prize pool was $30,000, modest beginning, $12,000 and 30 pro points for first place, $5,000 and 25 pro points for second place. Third and fourth got $2,500 and 20 pro points. Fifth through eighth got $1,000 and 10 pro points, and then ninth through 16th got $500 and no pro points. Not a bad prize pool for a first PT. Then they decided to fire in there Pro Tour Los Angeles, which was a $100,000 prize pool. First place was $17,000 and 30 pro points. Second place was $10,000 and 25 pro points. Third and fourth was $5,900 and 20 pro points. Fifth through eighth was $3,500 and 10 pro points. Ninth through 16th was $2,000. 17th through 32nd was $1,150, and then 33rd through 64th was $400. So not only is there more money, but the prizes go further down. And then Pro Tour Columbus, we go from $100,000 to $125,000 total prize pool. First place, $22,000 and 30 pro points. Second place, $12,800 and 25 pro points. Third and fourth place, $7,500 and 20 pro points. Fifth through eighth place, $4,400 and 10 pro points. Ninth through 16th, $2,600. 17th through 32nd, $1,500. And 33rd through 64th, that same $400. So, in the previous episode, I think it was the last one, you talked about how when you see these prize pools increasing, it really kind of makes you believe as a Magic player in your late teens or early 20s that like dedicating a lot of time to this is actually like, I don't want to say a good investment, but like a good thing to be doing, or at least a realistic thing to be doing, because like you're getting some like real cashola here.
Yeah. And it's important to remember that this is, very early on in Magic's life.
Yeah.
And that's, there's no comparison in the trading card game space.
Mm-hmm.
As time goes on, we have frames of reference for games like Versus System, World of Warcraft, trading card games, Star Wars, whatever, whole constellation of stuff that did organized play. But this is groundbreaking because there's, no comparison at the time. And this Columbus prize pool by modern standards, extremely generous. 125K over 136 competitors. So each player's personal equity is about $1,000. And we're talking $1,996. So, multiply that by 2 roughly.
Mm-hmm.
So in 2024 terms, everyone's spot in the tournament is worth about $2,000. And first prize is about $45K.
It's pretty darn good.
Yeah, I mean that's a very generous tournament.
Yeah,
maybe I would be curious to do some investigation here, but I wouldn't be surprised if this was just the highest equity Pro Tour of all time.
Yeah,
like how much is your seat, your chair worth?
Mm-hmm.
This one might be number one.
Okay, I'm willing to buy that. Yeah, I mean, obviously we got a lot more Pro Tours to go through, but pretty generous as you mentioned.
Yeah,
given all things told, especially we're talking about this is the third PT, and Wizards of the Coast is taking like a pretty big swing here. Just like, yeah, we got cool stuff going on. Come play our game.
Yeah, when you've captured lightning in a bottle, and you are basically printing money, which is what Magic was like at this time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, why not? Even at that time, $125,000 in the scheme of Wizards' entire budget, it's just not that much money.
Yep.
And if this is something where not only do we get to have devoted players and kind of our own legitimacy for the game that we are building, it is a way that people who maybe they know about Magic, maybe they've seen some packs at their like bookstore or whatever, but they don't really know what's going on. And it seems like a big investment. You start hearing about tournaments like this and you're like, oh, I can't miss out on this.
Yeah.
This is worth checking out.
Yep.
This is worth buying instead of the newest board game or whatever.
For sure. Let's take a look at the top 4 players of the Masters division. First place, as we've already mentioned at the top of the show, Olle Rade, a 17-year-old from Sweden, the Sylvan Safekeeper, which is a card I played in my first real Grand Prix in 2002 in Cleveland.
Oh, you put an Elfin Guide on that thing. Good luck.
Yeah, see you later.
Yeah.
See you later. You can't kill me.
Do you see like this?
Oh, I get it.
And even if you did, then I would just have the thing left over. You get it.
I don't know how Olle is viewed in Magic history. I don't mean that in like a bad way. It's just, he's the Sylvan Safekeeper, so he's done well in the Magic Invitational. He, won a Pro Tour, which is rad.
I believe he won. I think he won PT Rome as well.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that. But I think he has another one.
He's got some pretty nice results. We haven't seen him around in a long time. I hope he's doing well. But obviously when we think of Magic, we think of Finkel and Kai and LSV and Nassif and stuff like that. But Olle Rade breaking some ground here. 17 years old winning this tournament.
I know for players of my vintage and a little bit older, because Ollie's about 3 or 4 years older than me.
Okay.
And was playing before I was very involved in competitive Magic.
Okay.
He is held, generally speaking, in very high regard by his contemporaries.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I just Googled too. Sorry to interrupt you. Pro Tour Hall of Famer. I
Yeah.
wasn't positive. I wanted to make sure.
There's a lot of players who had results early on and you sort of point and laugh a little bit of, yeah, you were ahead of the curve, but by today's standards, it's kind of silly.
Mm-hmm.
And Olle is someone who is in that space of, yeah, he was just good. He was ahead of the time by a lot. And if he dedicated himself to the game nowadays, he would be able to hang.
Love it. Second place, Sean Fleischman, 26-year-old from the Bronx. I wish I was from the Bronx. You don't have to say Bronx, New York. You're just from the Bronx.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. You ever been?
Yeah, of course.
I don't know. I don't know how close it is to Jersey.
Well, geographically it's close. Culturally, it's another planet.
Okay, sure.
I've gone to some Yankee games and whatever.
Okay. Also a neutral ground regular, which that means a lot to some people out there. It means a lot to me because of Magic's history, but I never got to do a neutral ground thing.
It is incredible to think about it now, looking back on having a store of that size in downtown Manhattan with the type of talent that it drew. It feels like a fantasy. I remember 2000, I want to say. I was really struggling in college and I was like, kind of want to drop out. And I was going to school in Seton Hall, which is up in North Jersey.
Okay.
And I was like, what would be something that I could do that would be fun at least for a day? And I was like, I'll go to neutral ground. Who knows what's going on? So take the train in, go up to neutral ground. And basically there's a table of 7 famous Magic players. It's like Finkel's v. Mike Postelnik, whoever, just all these New York guys.
Yeah, sure.
And one of them, I maybe kind of recognized me from the tournaments. And they're like, we need an 8th for our Mercadian Mass draft. Are you in? We're testing for the Pro Tour.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Oh.
yeah, I'm trying to even think of a comparison. But like, imagine Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton come up to you and they're like, yeah, we have a spot in right field. You want to like, you want to play today or whatever? It was that. I actually almost said no because I was like, I don't want to ruin your draft.
Yeah,
I'm worried.
I'm not this level.
Worried, but I couldn't turn down the opportunity.
No,
and yeah, it was at the end of it. It was like partying with rock stars from my perspective. It was so cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's absolutely amazing. 3rd place in this tournament, Alvaro Marquez, a 25-year-old from London, Ontario, Canada. And then in 4th place, Peter, if I get your last name wrong, I do apologize. I'm doing my best. Rade, I think I'm going to assume that the J is silent, a 20-year-old from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. So that's our top 4. And I mentioned top 4 because the tournament cut to top 4, not top 8, like previous Pro Tours have. So we must go over our notable non-top 4 finishes from the Masters Division. And what better place to start than 5th place, Brian Weissman, creator of the deck.
Yes, one of the forefathers of sort of constructed Magic theory.
Mm-hmm.
Take it all for granted nowadays because of the internet, basically.
Sure.
It's pretty easy to find good deck lists. You can go and check arena results and people's articles and Magic Online and all that kind of stuff. Back then, being able to be good at building decks was a very important skill because there's just so little information. And so Weissman was way ahead of the time in terms of he built a really, really, really good deck that not many people knew about and was able to crush vintage tournaments for a while.
8th place was Scott Johns. This was his 2nd top 8 finish at the Pro Tour level. But weirdly enough, people didn't really care about this result that much because it was a cut to the top 4, not the top 8.
Well, it's also a 130 person.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Magic has gotten away from the Hall of Fame and who knows if they're going to really bring it back.
Mm-hmm.
But when people are talking about the statistics during eras are very different, that is extremely true. I mean, it's very hard to imagine a 130 person Pro Tour nowadays.
Yeah.
And how do you compare that versus a Pro Tour in 2002 versus 2012? It has a lot of analogs to sports. The eras are very different.
Yeah.
And how do you analyze that is complicated, but it wasn't the same thing throughout Magic's history.
In 15th place, Eric Tam. If you've been with us for other episodes of Resleevables Tournament Edition, you know that he made top 8 of Pro Tour New York. In 16th place, I think this is a name we're going to see on this show quite a bit, The Hump, David Humphreys.
Mm-hmm.
15th place at Pro Tour Los Angeles, the Pro Tour before this. So that's a 15th and a 16th. Of course, Magic Hall of Famer and Wizards of the Coast game design architect. Like I said, I think we're going to be seeing more of him.
Oh, yeah.
23rd place, Alan Comer, who is, of course, a Magic Hall of Famer. 26th place, Chris Pikula, who, you know what? I'm just going to say is a Magic Hall of Famer. I'm just making the rules around here. Should be. That's what I'll say about that. Come at me if you disagree. 31st place, your boy, Tight Tommy.
Oh, yeah.
Tight Tom Guevin.
Mm-hmm.
He was the runner-up at Pro Tour at Los Angeles, that crazy draft Pro Tour that you and I played. 33rd place is his nemesis, Sean Regner, who was the winner of Pro Tour Los Angeles and also top-aided Pro Tour New York. So the Pro Tour scene is apparently very easy for Sean.
Oh, yeah.
This is very easy
crusher
for the hammer. All right, let's get to it. 38th place. My notes here say, having a little trouble reading this. Worth, how do you pronounce that last name? What was that?
Woolpert?
I think it's Woolpert. My bullet points here says big scumbag.
Come on.
So it's what I saw.
Come on.
That's what I saw when I did the research.
For those of you who are not familiar with the name, longtime Pro Tour player.
Oh, yeah.
Not incredible results, but was on the Pro Tour for a while. Worked at Wizards of the Coast as a game designer at various points, or was at least in the playtesting pipeline.
Yeah.
I know that much. And was in charge of Magic Online for quite a while.
That's right. The one and only. We love you, buddy. Also an Ohio guy, so come on. Doesn't get much better than that.
Did I tell you about my visit to Worth's? last year. All right,
I didn't know this happened.
All right, so I went. This is a great Worth story.
Okay,
and if you know his social media presence at all from his Magic Online days of being in charge of this leaking ship, but just doing his best, you know. So I'm in town for business, and the plan is I'm gonna go over to Worth's house, and he's gonna wrap up making dinner for the family, and then he and I are gonna go out.
Okay.
So I walk in, and it is Worth and his 2 children and his partner, and Worth has prepared the steak, and he's very, very excited about it, and the kids are just very happily eating, and it's just a scene of domestic bliss.
Yeah.
So Worth and I step outside. We're in the backyard, just having a beer and talking. Come back inside after a little while, and Worth is like, "Where are the kids?" His partner's like, "Oh, they're upstairs." So we're starting to walk out the door. I'm ahead of him walking out.
Okay.
And he says to his partner, I can hear him as I'm walking out the door, "How are the steaks?" In a spot where Worth thinks he's done a really, really good job. And everyone's happy. So Worth is walking out with me, and he says, "How are the steaks?" And then he wheels around and walks back, and I'm just going outside,
straight out the door.
So Worth's in there for maybe 90 seconds, comes out and goes, "I guess the steaks were no good." And then we went out to dinner. Love you, Worth.
No.
Love you, Worth.
You know the comment. No one appreciates Worth.
No,
Nobody
no,
appreciates
they don't. They
Worth.
don't. He's a
know.
very underappreciated person. But yeah, a big influence on Magic. A great person, and someone who in the early days of the Pro Tour we're gonna be seeing, some top 32s and 16s kind of littered about.
39th place, Gab Sang, who is the winner of Pro Tour Atlanta in 2005 alongside Gabriel Massif and David Rude. I was actually at that tournament. 51st place was Michael Lecanto, the winner of Pro Tour New York. And then 57th place, last but certainly not least, Brian Hacker, top 8 of 1998 World Championships and one of the very early Magic commentators.
Yeah, very charismatic person.
Okay,
It was basically him and Jamie Park. When I was a kid, where I looked at coverage and photos, and I was like, "Oh, cool people play Magic."
Yeah.
Brian Hacker was also, excuse me, a game designer at Upper Deck when I got hired for the first time.
Oh.
And my first day on the job, he's, I'm like looking for something to do. I have no idea. I've never had an adult job before. I've never worked in an office. And Hacker just hands me a huge stack of papers with, you have kind of those playtesting proxies, like sheets of rows of 9 cards that you're playtesting or whatever.
Okay.
And he goes, "Yeah, take these to the paper cutter and just chop these up so we can use them for us or whatever." So there's just tears welling in my eyes. Is this going to be my life? Didn't go that way, but
you're like a temp.
Yeah, Hacker was the first person to give me some grunt work. My first adult job.
Yeah, go do that. Then come on back. I got more for you. Got a lot of cards you to chop up. Kid.
Yeah.
So that takes care of the Masters division. So we're going to quickly go over the Juniors division. I just got the top 4 players here. No other additional notes. First place, Terry Borer. Second place, Paul McCabe. Third place, David Parker. And fourth place, it's John Finkel. So Finkel was getting some work done in the Juniors division before moving on to the Masters division and his illustrious, I would say, like double Hall of Fame career, honestly. And then as for the U.S. Nationals that took place alongside this Pro Tour, first place was Dennis Bentley, a 27-year-old from Churchville, New York. Second place, George Baxter, the guy. Likes to write a book or two.
Oh, I've read him.
I know.
Yeah.
23-year-old from Dallas, Texas. Third place, Michael Long, 21-year-old from Centreville, Virginia. And then fourth place, your boy, Matt Place, 20 years old from Kansas City, Missouri.
Yes.
So some of these foundational names that you see in the Magic community, or you've heard Patrick tell stories about in game design or work in other games. I actually had the opportunity to do coverage of Storybook Brawl alongside Matt Place, which was really cool. If you follow Magic history at all, you've heard many a story about Michael Long, but this is when they were young. This is 1996.
It's pretty cool. I mean, along that list of people, you've got a current design architect for Wizards of the Coast,
Yep.
who was in charge of the most recent Magic release.
Yep.
You have someone who was in charge of Magic Online for, I think, over a decade.
I think so, yeah, Worth.
You have another future Magic designer who went on to design Storybook Brawl.
Yep.
So you know these are names that are foundational for the history of the game from a competitive standpoint, and many of them still have influence on Magic or game design more broadly today.
Those are the facts of Pro Tour Columbus 1996. When we come back, we've got 4 really bad.
They are decks.
By definition,
Yeah.
we have 4 decks to go over right after this. All right, everybody, we are back to go over the top 4 decks of Pro Tour Columbus 1996. But before we do, we got to give a quick shout out to our good friend Brian Colville and his YouTube channel, Bosch and Roll. Head over to youtube.com/Bosch and Roll to watch Eternal Constructed Specialist Brian Colville play a new Eternal deck every single weekday. With over 1,000 videos in his YouTube archive, if there's a certain Eternal card or deck that you want to see in action, Brian has almost certainly played with it, and there will be video for you to watch of it. Best of all, Brian is outrageously good at Magic, as he's a SCG Tour Invitational Champion, a Grand Prix Champion, and an Eternal Weekend Vintage Champion. YouTube.com/Bosch and Roll, where Magic history is played every day. Now look, I don't think that Brian would ever play these decks on his YouTube channel, but maybe that's a challenge. Maybe I just issued a challenge your way, Brian. Maybe it's time for you to sleeve up Ollie Rod's deck with, oh man, all the spiders in the land. Let's take a look at it. Patrick, 4 Deadly Insect, 4 Fyndhorn Elves, 4 Giant Trapdoor Spider, 4 Woolly Spider, 2 Orcish Cannoneers, kaboom, 2 Storm Shaman, and 1 Gorilla Shaman. Just the hits.
Okay, so the Storm Shaman is so bad that I'm not even going to talk about that.
Okay.
But we'll go through the other stuff.
Okay.
What are the things here that are ahead of the curve? First time you're really seeing this. And something that's cool about Block Constructed is, well, if the power level of the format is lower, then any sort of innovation you can make that would hold up under modern sensibilities is probably going to be outlandish in a tournament with a small card pool and people not really prepared for it.
Yeah.
So the awesome things from my perspective, Fyndhorn Elves into a bunch of 3-drops.
Yep.
Everything we have going on here is just starting at 3 of substance.
Mm-hmm.
There's also the format. Remember, Block Constructed, we're used to Wrath of God. Not here. Not legal in the format.
Yep.
So Deadly Insect, a card that if you looked at when Alliances came out, you could say, okay, sure, whatever, but you can just Wrath it or whatever, or Mode it, or Island Sanctuary. All the answers to this thing are not legal. What Ice Age and Alliances have a lot of in terms of power level is spot removal.
Yeah.
Source of Plowshares and some good black removal, all that kind of stuff. So Deadly Insect, while an innocuous card at the time that Alliances released through the lens of the entire card pool, is shooting some angles with how the card pool is different from Block Constructed to the entire format.
And these spiders, which you said you're ramping into 3-drops, which is true.
Mm-hmm.
They're just 2/3s, but as we get to more of the control decks here, you're going to see that like a 2/3 is actually just like pretty good.
2/3 and kill an attacking flyer is not bad against these decks.
Yeah, it's really not that bad. So the spells here for this wonderful red-green aggro deck, we got a couple of Giant Growths, 4 Incinerates, a Jokulhaups, 2 Lava Bursts, 3 Pillage, a Pyroclasm, and 3 Stormbinds. I'm going to go over the artifacts here really quickly too. 2 Lodestone Baubles and 4 Urza's Baubles and 18 lands. And the reason I just the artifacts, there's not really a lot to tell there, but one thing I will say before we get to Stormbind is, this is the days of land destruction, and Patrick and I have, we've made our jokes about, they just keep printing flash fires and Boil and all these ridiculous circle protections and stone rains and pillages and what are the green ones like Winter's Grasp and
Ice Storm,
and Ice Storm, all this stuff, right? Yeah. And we don't see this stuff nowadays. And we probably, if I'm being honest, I don't think we're ever really going to see stuff like this again because this isn't really what they're centering the game around now in 2024. But back in 1996, they were. And let me tell you, they're pretty good. They're pretty good.
So this deck is just playing Pillage as its land destruction?
It has 3 copies.
So this would be my biggest critique of Olle's deck is, can we get Stone Rain in here too?
Sure.
Because once you're just doing the land destruction thing, and it's not like there's that many artifacts that you have to kill, and this deck is centered around green mana, I think Stone Rain just might be better than Pillage anyway, but I would probably just get rid of, the Jokulhaups and the Fireballs or whatever and just play
sure.
Just do what you're going to do.
Sure.
We know what this deck is all about.
The sideboard, there's not a ton to note here. There's a couple Pyroblast and, a bunch of rubbish, and you'll get to see those when we play here in a little bit anyway. So let's move on to the 4-color control deck here from Sean Fleischman, which is going to look very different from the Red-Green Spiders deck that we just took a look at. So creatures, a couple of Blinking Spirits, and the truly horrible, I cannot express this enough, Ivory Gargoyle.
So I forgot what this thing did, but I had a recollection.
Okay.
That this was a popular card at the time. I played against it in my local shop. Mm-hmm. And for some reason I had in my head, it's basically a 5-mana 2/2 flying Blinking Spirit.
Okay.
And it is so much worse than that.
Yes, it is.
It is so much worse than that. I am shocked this card was ever in decks.
So when I was looking at the deck list, I thought, before we kind of got started playing and everything, that what's this card called? Ivory Gargoyle? I thought it was Ivory Guardians.
Sure.
And I was like, oh yeah, that's gonna be kind of annoying. It's like a 6-mana 3/3 pro red, stuff. No, it's not that.
No,
it's not. This is block constructed. You got 2 sets to work with. And if you want to be a control deck, apparently Blinking Spirit and Ivory Gargoyle are the best you can do. But good news. Got a lot of spells to choose from. 3 Counterspell, 3 Disenchant, 2 Force of Will, 3 Incinerate, 2 Jokulhaups, 1 Limdul's Vault on the sploosh, 2 Mind Warp on the sploosh, 3 Power Sink, 2 Pyroclasm, 2 Stone Rains, 3 Swords of Plowshares, and of course a Zoran Orb, rounding it out with 29 lands.
The construction of this deck, though hilarious and bad in a lot of ways, it is something of a metagame deck. Okay. This is really good if you assume you're playing nothing but control mirrors. This is a control deck that's trying to go way over the top for the control mirrors.
Yeah.
Which, if you look at, the rest of the top 4, great metagame call and came in second place. But not surprising that it would struggle against just anyone able to cast cards early in the game.
So my assumption, and obviously we weren't there during the time, is that as these players tested and got ready for this tournament, they probably just went like, there's not really an aggro deck, or all the aggro decks are bad. Like someone might bring something, but most of them are bad. And, we'll just gear our deck towards trying to win the control mirror. Because if you knew that aggro was a thing that people were doing, you wouldn't start 2 Mind Warps.
Exactly. And look at how this deck is structured for control mirrors. A lot of control mirrors in Magic history just come down to whoever misses their land drop first is in big trouble, because then the impetus is on them to play proactively, and then you start running into their removal, and now your mana's tapped out on their turn, all that kind of stuff. So with 29 lands, it's really hard to have happen. And then you have a blend of threats that are really hard to kill, permission and counter spells and disenchants, just things that can handle whatever.
Nope.
And then a couple of haymakers like Jokulhaups if you somehow get behind, or if you have accumulated enough extra resources that you can reset the game and win pretty easily from there. So a funny deck list. Obviously, Splashing Mind Warp is intense as a metagame call. Just a little. But I think there's something here if you just view it through the lens of attacking the metagame you'd expect.
Let's move on to the 3rd place deck here from Alvaro Marquez. It is White-Red Control. 4 Blinking Spirits, 2 wild, what do you think, Esthir? It's the bird. 1 Balduvian Horde and 1 Rogue Sky Captain. These creatures are so bad. Oh my god.
I built a White-Red control deck around the same time.
Yeah?
That was just, it was like 4 Sari Angel, 4 Balduvian Horde, and then just all the bolts and plows and gettons and stuff.
Yeah, you had access to a lot more cards.
Wasn't that good.
So
also would have been better if Balduvan Horde was just Hill Giant instead.
Sure.
Because if your whole game plan is about, I'm going to make you unable to play the game, then it doesn't really matter what you kill them with.
It can be anything.
Yeah, it could be anything.
Spells, there's a lot of them. 2 Disenchants, 1 Exile, 4 Incinerates, 3 Jokulhaups, 2 Lava Burst, 4 Pillage, 2 Pyroclasm, 3 Swords of Plowshares. And then you've got these artifacts, an Icy Manipulator, 1 Jeweled Amulet, 3 Lodestone Bauble, and a Zoran Orb. We rounded out with 24 lands. My favorite part of this deck, this is how you know it's block constructed, 10-10.
Yeah.
10 plains, 10 mountains, couple Thawing Glaciers, and a Keldorn Outpost.
But to go back to the second place deck, this is what I'm talking about. I would believe the third place deck is about as close to 0% to beat the second place deck as possible.
Yeah.
And so if you assume the field is going to be a bunch of decks like this, that call makes sense.
The second place deck makes sense. If you think decks are going to look
like is this deck beating Counterspell and Mind Warp? Like no chance.
No,
it's not doing anything.
No, yeah, all of its game actions don't matter.
Yeah. So again, to circle back to the ridiculous second place deck, there is a metagame call going on here that justifies some of the weirdness.
All right, fourth place deck. Last deck we're going to go over before gameplay. White, red, green control. We call that Naya.
Yeah.
Nowadays. 1 Blinking Spirit. Oh boy, 3 Ivory Card. Oh, it's so many. So many of the gargoyle, spells, 25 of them. 4 Disenchant, 3 Incinerate, another Jokulhaups, 2 Lava Burst, 4 Pillage, 1 Pyroclasm, 4 Stone Rain. So you got your 8 land destruction spells. 2 Stormbind, probably the best card in the format. 4 Swords to Plowshares, 3 Ices, 1 Zoran Orb, and then 29 lands as well. 11 plains, 9 mountains, 4 Karplusan Forest, 2 Keldorn Outpost, and 1 Thawing Glacier. So this is another deck where like game actions kind of stink. I respect the 8 land destruction spells. If I'm going to get you,
I'm going to get you.
I'm going to get you.
So let's talk about Stormbind a little bit.
All right. Oh yeah, we didn't do that in the red green deck. Yeah.
No, it's worth talking about here.
Yeah, whole segment.
In many respects, this is sort of the first Planeswalker in competitive Magic, by which I mean a card that is a different card type from your creatures that takes on a very different texture in terms of your ability to win from a stable board or catch back up some amount of the time.
Okay.
It's also worth noting, looking at these decks, that 2 mana and a card to shock is better than a lot of the cards people are just playing straight up.
Yeah. Yep.
Stormbind is much, much better in aggressive decks than controlling decks. You can play it in the controlling decks too, but the ability just to non-interactively evade counter spells and burn your opponent out is very, very strong for an aggressive deck to have. Also means that if you flood out, you have some way to, cash it in for some amount of value.
Yep.
And so it's got a lot of rate. It structurally makes sense in an aggressive deck. And then the last little bit is, cannot be overstated how good Stormbind is against Ivory Gargoyle.
Sure, the lock. Yeah. Yeah, sure. You never get the card.
Yeah. I mean, you can draw your gargoyle and then not cast it, but that is not probably good given the other information we have about the game going on. So yeah, Stormbind it's another interesting sort of contrast in the Brian Weissman school, because it is just card disadvantage. It itself is a card, and then it, the best it can do typically is trade 1 for 1, and it often isn't doing that. But in spite of that, very powerful.
The sideboards here, they all contain various Soko protections and all the cards that frankly we've made fun of on this show for, I can't believe I get to say this, the past year.
Yeah.
Yeah, all these circle protections and anarchies and all these ridiculous effects. And what won this tournament? Woolly Spider. Woolly freaking Spider. How awesome is that?
Yeah, it rules.
It's just 2-3 in the face of Swords to Plowshares and Incinerates and everything. Now, what I know there's actually video of this tournament that can be watched online, which is actually pretty cool. But, Deadly Insect probably got a lot of work done, so there is that. But why guess when we can just play the games ourselves? Which is what we did. So this present version of us, well, there's a past version of us too that you're going to watch play some Magic right after this. All right, everybody, we are here in the Resleevables second recording studio to record some wonderful gameplay of these two truly heinous decks. Cedric Phillips over here. More importantly, I pushed record this time, so
Patrick Sullivan
over there. See, it's called growth.
Yeah, we learn as we go.
That's right. I know pushing the buttons might not seem that difficult, but you'd be surprised.
Although I think last time our editor Rob was able to do a very nice job making sort of like South Park kind of looking
all his idea.
Beautiful stuff.
Yeah, see, that's why he's a part of the team. Smart guy, that Rob.
And this was actually not on purpose, but I already saw then that he put me in like a New Jersey shirt, and now we're on the banks of the old Rare 10.
There you go. A little Rutgers action for you, a little not Rutgers action for me. I'm gonna play spiders, which I actually think in real life I'm pretty scared of, but no one should be scared of these because they're horrible.
Yep.
And you have
Nephilim.
Yeah, you have crap. Yeah. You have stuff that probably beats spiders.
Yeah, 4-color sealed deck
control. Roughly.
I don't know. My opening hand is so disjointed.
Okay.
But on that note, I'm going to keep.
Okay, I'm also going to keep. So we're going to roll some dice here. High roll, obviously. Little 3. Easy does it.
I'm going to start.
I wish you the best of luck.
Good luck.
Here we go.
Adhikar waits. Your turn.
I will play Forest, and in Urza's Bauble.
Okay.
And sacrifice this to choose a card at random from your hand. Look at that card and notice the ability if the player has no cards left in hand. Thanks.
It's a Mishra's Bauble, except it's a random card from hand set top of deck.
Here we go. Oh, you know this one well, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it actually does show up in like some of the sort of like legacy affinity style decks.
Good to know.
You're not gonna tell me, you know what? Do you have to reveal it, or is it?
I choose a card at random from target player's hand, and I look at that card.
So do I know what you know?
No.
All right, I'm going to shuffle up my hand just so there's no... Okay, already into some rules issues.
That's what I'm
and
pretty
it
sure.
is turn 1.
All right, slow trip.
Sick. Sulfur Springs. Go ahead.
Man, you just need
Nephilim.
Yeah, it's all there. This was not my draw step.
It's in.
It's your turn.
All right, and so I'm going to cast Lindul's Bolt.
Yes.
So I take 2.
You're at 18.
So this card is look at the top 5 cards in my library. As many times as I want, I can pay 1 life to put those on the bottom and look at 5 new cards.
Yep.
And then when I stop, I set the top 5. Okay.
You remember it well. I used to play this in Olurin.
Oh, Mother of God. I'll take a point.
17. That's fast. Try again.
All right.
I'm ready.
Yeah, I'll take it.
16.
I think that I'm going to just end up looking for a card that doesn't exist. Okay, this we're going to keep.
That's a bummer.
Okay. Flying Glaciers, your turn.
All right. I'm going to draw. Nope. Not yet. Not yet. Sorry.
You got moves.
Giant Trapdoor Spider.
It's in.
That'll be a 3-mana 2/3 with text that doesn't matter. 1.
Uno.
You're at 15. It's your turn.
And so I'm going to take a point and incinerate your spider.
That's down.
Got it.
Kill it with fire. So now you're at 14.
Go.
Oh my gosh.
Are you doing it?
I'm kind of doing it. Spider you.
Okay.
1. Yep, you're 13.
I'll fall.
Go ahead. All right, so you put that back in your hand. You can keep doing it. You put that back in your hand. You
search for a basic, put and play tapped.
Okay. And fall enters the battlefield tapped?
Yes.
All right, okay.
So it's like slow fixing?
It's basically, you make your land drops for the rest of the game,
Okay.
but it's very slow, and the turn that you play Thawing Glaciers, you're down mana.
Okay. But this was like one of the better cards in early Magic?
Oh,
I guess.
Let's find out.
Okay, sure. Yeah, that's why we're doing this.
It is. I guess the second copy is not great. This balancing issue. I'm at...
You're at a smooth 13.
Go.
The Glaciers again. Okay. So I'm in store for a lot of that today. Okay. Yeah, get you some.
Before damage, I'll try to Swords to Plowshare a Spider.
I gain life equal to
Power.
22. This is exiled. You take 1.
Yes.
You're 12. You were probably thinking
Got so many of
shoot
those.
around the woods, but I
Um,
got a lot of spiders, bro.
I'll take a point and count Cincula.
That's that saps me of my mana, right?
You gotta tap your land,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So I can't like float and play something else, right? Okay. So,
Not under these rules.
Yep.
But
Yeah, that's fine. It's fine.
I take a point, by the way.
Yeah. So
Add a card.
you should be at 11 now.
Yep.
I believe 11 is correct.
Mhm.
It's your turn. Count Cincula is nice.
Go.
All right. Mountain. Uno. You're at 10. 1, 2. Let me tap right for that. There we go. Number 4.
I'll sink for 3 and take a point.
All right, I'm going to respond by incinerating you. That's a Pyroclasm. That's an Incinerate.
All right, so I take 1 off the...
You're at 7. You go down to 6.
Okay.
This is countered.
Yep.
Incinerate resolves. This is countered.
Yep.
Nudge.
I'll fall.
How does he win? Blinky McSpirit.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know, my cards are all terrible, and how would you not be able to beat them?
Well, it's it's hard to separate the two things.
It's true. It's true. I mean, 6 is pretty low.
Yeah.
I feel pretty good about that. No proof you haven't answered this Fyndhorn Elves.
So, Thawing Glaciers are very sick. Second copy's not good.
Yep.
And it is a little slow to get going, but it is just sick over a long game.
Yeah.
I assume some people play it in Commander, I guess. It's just like good if the game's not in a huge rush.
I guess. Feels... I want to believe that people are playing in Commander. That's what I'll say.
Blinky.
All right, Blinking Spirit's good.
Glaciers go.
All right, the roadblock is here. Go.
All right, get going here. Cards.
1. I accidentally revealed it.
Lumps.
Oh, wow. All right, tough guy. 20.
Try to trigger Bunking Spirit.
Jeez, that's the best you can do this turn?
Excuse me.
Okay.
Offense, defense. It's
Okay.
like I paid for vigilance.
Okay.
Go.
Paid a lot for vigilance. Big draw.
Big.
Your turn.
And step ball. Thaw.
Sure. Let the pain set in, everybody. This is just the first game of this, and this is what it's going to look like.
I'm actually just in heaven right now.
More of a control player than you let on.
Depends what the circumstances are. This is how I kind of started playing Magic, was decks like this.
Yeah.
And mostly because they were busted. But also I like to mix it up every now and again, you know?
Yeah, that's fine. Not my cup of tea. I don't hate it. Blinking Spirit with damage on the stack is pretty sick. Didn't even think about
No
that.
question.
Didn't even think about that.
We're not playing.
Absolutely not. No. 18.
Try to pick it up.
Yep. Yep. Oh, all right. Go. Pyroclasm Fyndhorn Elves deck is well.
What about Aggro Sulfur Springs deck?
Well, I mean, it's cooking. It's cooking. A second Sulfur Springs. Four, 5, 6.
I'm gonna take a point.
Jeez. All right, 5.
Mind Warp for 2.
Okay, I'm gonna try to incinerate you. That's probably gonna get counterspelled. Yep, that's fine. And you got my Pyroclasm.
Go.
Okay. Draw. Go. Yep. It's tough when your deck doesn't have any good cards in it.
Well, Fyndhorn Elves is good, but you're not ramping into anything.
No. And you know, my trapdoor spiders, they're down.
Right. Go.
Only got Woolly Spider left. Oh, yeah. Here we go.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm not supposed to know.
You're not
what
supposed.
know.
Yeah, I'm not supposed to know what I know.
All right.
All right. Go.
Oh, 4.
Yeah. I'm gonna draw for my slow trip now. So that's done. Oh, right. That card's in open. Oh, me, oh my. All right. Actually,
Okay.
we learned something pretty nice there too. Okay, okay, okay. I don't hate what we learned. Ooh, little taste. All right, 16.
I'll add a white,
Okay.
like a Jeldorn Outpost.
Yeah.
ETB, sacrifice the planes, and then tap it for a white, or tap it white and 1 to make a 1/1.
All right. There's Battlefield untapped.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll make a token.
People strategy. I didn't come prepared with tokens.
That's okay.
No, we're not doing that. We're doing this. This will work for now.
Okay. Go.
All right. Dude, nice. Go.
I think I know what is afoot.
What? You don't know anything.
Okay. Well, I can't say what I think is going on here because it involves you having seen a particular card in my hand.
Uh-huh.
And if I'm wrong, I've just shown you both cards in my hand.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So
Okay, this is fun. This is fun. Okay. You don't have the slightest idea what I'm doing. $13. Mm-hmm.
Go.
Cards.
3.
Okay. Draw. Oh. Ooh. Oh. Didn't expect that.
And you have 4 mana up.
6.
No, I'm sorry, 4 lands.
Yeah. Oh no. Five. Oh, you have. I think you have 4 spells in that. I can't remember. I'm so old. 6 mana. Oh, is this the?
Sink for 4.
Okay, so I can pay for.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'll pay 4.
Okay. Resolves.
Nice. Okay, so I know the other card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I thought was going on. You had Stormbind and you saw Disenchant.
Yeah. Okay.
Before blocks. Make a token.
Sure.
Block 1. I'm at 1.
You're on.
Okay, I'm down to 1. No! Don't kill it. Alright.
I'm just gonna put this in the graveyard. You figure out how you want to cast that.
Well, I'm at 1, so it's gotta be that.
That's true. There it finally is.
Ivory Gargoyle.
All right.
5 mana, 2/2 flying. Put it in the graveyard from play, put it in play under owner's control, and then a turn and skip your next draw phase.
That's right.
And I can pay 5 mana to remove it from the game.
Yeah, so that you don't get locked by that thing. I'll take 3 out of 10.
Go.
Alrighty.
Good sweat.
Not
What a
bad.
game.
Not bad. Wow, that's a way to do it. Yeah, that's a way to do it. Okay, you're not dead right now. It's like kind of one suspend. You have no cards in hand. None of your stuff matters. Orcish Cannoneers.
Oh my god.
Red,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
red 1/3. You can tap this thing and deal 2 damage to target creature or player, and 3 damage to me. So killing Patrick is on suspend.
You got nothing more.
I have nothing else.
Alpha.
Okay.
I don't even know about anything else. Oh god,
It's like a removal spell.
Jokulhaups isn't out.
Start it over.
Well, no, because I think I might have enough mana to float and replay Blinking
blink
Spirit.
me. Yeah, okay.
And also, like, just skip with Ivory Gargoyle, you know.
Mm.
All right. What do I want to get here? I guess a Plains. Yeah, I want to get Plains. It's a big one. Big draw coming.
That's right. The Cannoneers, a hell of a top deck.
Oh my god.
Good luck. Hammer, don't hurt him. Good sweat.
I'm dead.
What was that?
Sullivan Outpost.
Yeah.
I had a couple.
Kaboom!
Kaboom! I had a couple massive outs. Azuran Orb.
Ooh. Don't want to play against that. Thanks.
Oh right. Wow. I thought I was winning that one for sure. Very nicely done, Seth.
Spiders, and nothing to do with spiders winning game number 1.
That's not true. I had to counter and kill him.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
It softened me up for the eventual Cannoneer explosion.
That's true. Game number 2 coming up right after this. All right, I'm up 1-0. Patrick is on the play. Time for the spiders to do what they do. Let me tell you something, partner.
Mm-hmm.
These spiders are coming ahead of schedule.
Oh god.
That's right.
Come on. Why is that an attack? Go.
Springs. Hope springs.
I'm just gonna be thawing here. You
That's
do whatever you're gonna
fine.
do.
We will play the Woolly Bully.
What's that one do?
3 mana, 2/3 mana. Can block creatures with flying. If Woolly Spider is assigned to block a creature with flying, Woolly Spider gets +0/+2 until end of turn.
Sick.
3 mana, 2/3.
Yeah. Good luck, Sarah Angel.
I
I hope you see thawing. Oh, I guess I gotta take the thawing glitches out because it's only end of turn. It goes back to my hand at end of turn, so it's set aside from
That's fine.
a card you could look at via the bauble.
Shuffle them up. All
Okay.
right. Slow tripping. Oh, that's cute. That might be something.
Oh man.
So many spiders, so little time.
You.
All right.
Yep.
Set in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Cool. Didn't you just play Thaw?
Oh yeah, I cheated.
Yeah. That's all right. That's all right. Let that one go.
Catch me if you can. Yeah, you might give that a wash now.
Got ourselves a regular Jonte Porter over here.
Yeah.
Okay. I got my eye on you, boy.
Mm-hmm.
This one matters a lot. Try again. I guess my deck just won because it was functional.
Go.
I guess that would make the most sense. All right. Big draw.
Big draw.
Yeah, small draw. You're 13.
Go. Now I can do it.
Yes, you can. All right. I guess, like, what's the best card in my deck? Stormbind and Fyndhorn Elves?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Urza's Bauble.
Yeah. Little info.
Oh me, oh my.
Jesus. Okay.
Glaciers.
Yeah, okay.
Did I discard? No, I'm at 7. That's right.
7, okay.
That's the other thing about glaciers. You go to hand size a lot.
Sure.
Just one more thing to love.
Okay. 19.
Oh, God. Mm-hmm. Pick it up.
Yep. You did it.
Thank God.
Yep, you got the kick.
Kaboom. Kaboom. 4.
For you. You're at 9.
Mm-hmm.
Nudge.
Spoil the milk all the way down.
Dead.
Disenchant.
Stormbind into the bin.
Outpost.
Yes.
Go.
All right. Yup.
Make it people.
People made.
Block a Fyndhorn Elf. 4.
You're at 5. This is dead.
Mm-hmm.
You're at 2.
Mhm.
I take 1. I'm at 18. Your turn.
Kaboom.
Look at these medium beats. Love it. This is honest man's work.
Alright, so I'm at 2. You come up with 2 things. I do not have 2 things.
Reds.
Read them and weep.
Red Dead Redemption.
Oh my.
Another cast of the spider.
Oh my
Oh
God.
yeah.
Down 2-0 to spiders.
Woo, doggy!
Ollie the master.
That's right. All right. We're gonna go to sideboards now. Spider Sting, just too good. BRB. All right, everybody. We are here for the sideboarding of these two wonderful decks. Spider's currently up 2 games to 0. Patrick, you'll be on the play again. What are we doing here, man?
So what I'm adding are 3 copies of Hydroblast. No explanation needed there. Swords of Plowshares and Cop Green. Really nothing to explain with any of these cards.
No.
Very efficient removal, and Cop Green's pretty good against your threat base. It's not a lock by any means, but pretty strong. I'm removing 5 cards that are too terrible to countenance. Stone Rain's not great in this matchup. I could understand wanting it in some other matchups. You're not even playing with Thawing Glaciers. Limdol's Fall is, I think, sketchy in a deck that has no cards that are going to draw. And the 2 copies of Mind Warp are pitiful. So
That card's terrible.
Yeah, it's also really nice. I don't think there's a Swamp in the deck, so I have to take one when I cast it too, just as a nice little cherry on top.
Lucky you.
Yeah.
On my side of things, I'm going to be removing my Pyroclasm against his mostly, effectively creatureless deck that kills my stuff. But it does work well with the spiders.
Mm-hmm.
That's good deck building. Jokulhaups, why are we resetting the game? I don't want to do that. And then Storm Shaman. My base green deck has multiple copies of these. 3 mana 0/4 Fire Breathing. No. In return, a couple copies of Pyroblast against the blue permission deck, and then Vexing Arcanix.
Mm-hmm.
It's just another source of damage, kind of like Stormbind. Obviously much worse, but it's better than this.
Yeah.
So
I mean, this might literally be worse than Grey Ogre. In this deck.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you have Pyroclasm, so it's a little confusing, but this is just so bad.
I would say I don't know why they're there, but they obviously have applications, but they're terrible. Absolutely terrible. So away they go. In come my friends, and game number 3 coming to you in just a bit. All right, everybody. Game 3. Here it comes.
Go.
Ooh, yeah. Go ahead. That's tough. That's tough.
Ease up. Ease up, my friend.
Oh, that's tough.
Glad I had the 4th in the board. Go.
Go.
Rodman.
Go. Really good Rodman.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Chance to steal one.
Go.
Come on. All right. Sort of. It's a trap.
I'll sink for 1.
It is countered. It's your turn.
Kaboom. Go ahead.
Oof. Gotta win with something.
Oh, just so you know, I just assumed it was optional. Ivory Gargoyle is mandatory.
No, yeah, that's why it has the exile clause. No, you have to. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I read that one before we started recording. You must. Go. Somebody's kind of cooking. All right. 19.
Yep.
Go. Got it all. You got it all.
Super Rodman.
Yeah. All right. 17.
Yeah. Go. What are you targeting?
Not sure. I'm leaning mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is gone.
Got him.
Got him.
Got your ass, go. 15.
Pound town.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead.
All right. Oh, that's not exactly it either. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Don't laugh at me.
Oh my god.
It's better than nothing. Go ahead.
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think I'm maybe only 60% to win. I think I'm in trouble.
No disenchant. I feel good about it. All right, I'm at 11. Okay. Come on. Oh yeah. Take a little look ski. Somebody might have a response, huh?
I will cast Force of Will.
Wow.
Well, my thinking here is that it's very unlikely your hand gets any better than this and just doing it.
Okay.
And if you have something in your hand right now that's like useful, let's say Incinerate or whatever,
Okay.
you kind of want to cast it first before Stormbinding because of the risk of discarding at random.
Yeah.
So I actually don't know if I'm going to get a shot to counter a spell for the rest of the game. Maybe it's bad, but
I mean,
I'm going to force a Will Your Urza's Bauble.
We're living in a weird world. That's fine.
Okay.
You have 1 card left. Okay. Go ahead. When's this come back? Put it into play under owner's control at end of turn and skip your next draw. Oh yeah, that sounds good.
You're at 11 right now?
I'm at 11. Is this okay? Well, I guess I have to discard a card at random anyway. So
is that part of the cost? No, it's just 2 mana, right?
2.
Oh, you have to discard it because otherwise you would just do it.
Yeah. So I gotta discard a card at random.
I'm gonna exile it. Let's just pay 5 to get out from under this.
Okay, hold on. I'm curious if it's exiled from when it's in play or if it's in the graveyard.
No, I'm almost positive it's from play.
Okay. We'll look. What's it called? Ivory something?
Ivory Gargoyle.
Let's do a little check on the rules here. What a horrible, horrible card. Guess you had to win at something. Alright. Let's check out our friends at Scryfall. Let's see what they have to say. When Ivory Gargoyle dies, return it to the battlefield under its... Yeah, you got it. You're right. Okay. It's gone. I still have to lose the card. What a horrible card. Jeez. What'd you get? How'd you do? I needed that one!
Spider down.
That one's huge! Alright, I'll take 2 out of 9.
Bond Glaciers, go.
Mm-hmm. It's pardon that leaves. I suppose it just go upstairs on you. So that's what I'm gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
You're at 18. What do you do? Yep, 2 spiders down.
Yeah.
Okay. Probably better served that way than the other way. Draw. Okay.
Oh my god. Okay.
Go. It's a deadly insect, folks. It's a 5-mana 6/1. Cannot be the target of spells or effects.
Upkeep, I'm gonna thaw.
That's fine. We got big, big plans. Uh-huh. Stormbind is really something.
I've talked about it. First card that let me beat Eugene Harvey.
Yeah. It's just easy mode.
Yeah.
Not even a lot to think about. Just do it.
Alright, draw for my turn.
Falls in your grip.
It goes at a turn.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Go. Turn to my hand.
Yep. Make sure I tap right really quick. Yep. 6.
Take it.
Hell yeah. You're 12. Go.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. That's dead. Got a good shot at me. Okay.
Go. Me, I'm assuming.
Yeah, you're 10.
Hell of a card.
Go.
Do I want to draw or thaw? I want to thaw.
Thaw and upkeep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't think I could use the mana for anything useful. And yeah, thinning is pretty good here.
Alright.
Or it could be good.
10 to 9.
So you can go 6, 2. How many cards in your hand?
4.
So you can't kill me next turn. Barring something else. Stormbind can't kill me next turn.
Nope.
Okay.
Got him.
I'll draw.
Yep. 7.
Glaciers. Go. Yep.
Okay. You're 8. Do it again. Damn it. You're at 6. I don't think it actually matters. Do the math, really. If you pick up your thaw and
I did.
Yep.
I played one for my turn.
Can I roll?
Yeah, you're alright.
Okay. Go.
Okay.
Stupid card.
Upkeep. All thought.
Yep.
You have. Yep. I mean, I had some outs. I need them soon.
We've identified a game plan.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it was actually. Was it a mistake to thaw? Might have been. Not sure.
Why is that?
Because if I had an extra mana, I could. If I drew Jokulhaups, I could tap 10.
Okay, yeah, sure. Okay.
But alright.
Guy doesn't miss anything. Jeez.
But I think Jokulhaups is good enough for me anyway.
I think almost assuredly.
Okay. Draw. Am I about to get 3-0'd by spiders?
You can draw.
Or do I live to play another day? Jury's out. What am I at?
6.
And how many cards are you at?
3.
Oh, sorry, this is untapped.
Yeah. That's what you thought for, I think.
Yeah, oh yeah, sorry, this is tapped.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. 5. Okay, there's your land for the turn.
Move to end step.
Target you.
Yeah.
4. Target you. You're 2.
Still at the beginning of your turn.
Okay.
I'll Hydro Blast. Go.
Out. Look who's here. Look who's here. Lodestone Bauble.
Yeah, it's in.
Alright, so this one 0, 1 and tap it, sacrifice Lodestone Bauble to put up to 4 target basic lands from any player's graveyard on top of his or her library in the order. That player draws a card at the beginning. Alright, so I'm going to do this and target none of my lands.
Okay.
I don't want to draw any lands. I guess I'll do it like this. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna. Oh yeah. There he is.
And you have one. You're hellbent.
I'm hellbent.
Alright, I'll go to 1.
Okay. You're at 1. My turn's over.
And step incinerate you.
Oh no. Okay. I don't think there's anything I can draw. Okay. Well, slow trip draw. Jeez, that's tough.
Whoa,
Jeez, that's tough. All right, 2 to 1. 2 to 1. Stormbind almost got me there. Okay.
Didn't get swept. This matchup might be great. I didn't want to get 3-0'd.
Okay. Well, no 3.
If I could push it to 5, I'd be thrilled.
Game 5. Game 5. We're not in Game 5 yet. We're going to Game 4
Ahead of myself. Can't get ahead of myself.
right after this short break. It's 2 to 1. Game number 4. I'm on the play. Go. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Bauble. Go. All right, nothing though.
Yeah.
So I'm going to cantrip on.
Your turn.
It's on my turn. So
Yeah,
I go
yeah,
too.
yeah.
Okay, one.
You're good.
No. Go. Come on.
Go.
Okay, we're live. I take one.
I'll thaw.
That's fine. So I'm at 19. We kept
Sketchy one.
maybe a bit of a stinker. Maybe. Hard to say. Yep.
Move to discard.
Yep. $18. So I think you're supposed to kill the thawing glaciers.
Well, there's two possibilities, right? I'm land screwed or I'm not.
Yeah.
And in both cases, I think you're supposed to hit thawing glaciers.
Yeah. So I'm gonna kill thawing glaciers.
Okay.
All right, go ahead. Also, like your deck's mana is bad, so
Whoa. Are you sure?
I'm like pretty confident.
You. Mm-hmm.
Go.
Go. I'll take a point. Oh no!
We both take one.
Okay.
I'm at 17. You're at 19. Oh no! Not the spider. Alright.
Got him.
Kill
No,
him.
I'm killing the spider.
Kill the spider.
Just give you 3.
Mm-hmm.
Go.
Okay.
I got to read this now.
Yeah. We did allow for the class.
Alright, 4-mana artifact, tap it in 3. Target player aims a card and then turns over the top card. Turns over?
Mm-hmm.
And at the top card of his or her library. If that is the card named, put it into player's hand. Otherwise, put it in the player's graveyard, and Vexing Arcanix deals 2 damage to that player. So it's like a very slow curse scroll, but you can potentially do some card advantage-y thing.
Yeah, I mean, you could be drawing some cards, so go ahead. So I have to
Or-
target you.
I thought it's a target. Oh, you have to target the.
Yeah, so
Oh, okay.
yeah, so I have to target you. You name
Okay.
a card from your
I was
deck.
gonna say like, oh, that's actually kind of sick with the Lodestone Bauble. If
Yeah.
that came up.
Yeah.
No, don't want that.
But it deals damage to that player.
Gotcha.
Because I thought initially I would just target myself and name Black Lotus every turn and deal you 2. But
Sure.
no. Oh, it's Blinky, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, Blinky.
Go.
It's a lot of that.
Permanent sources of damage. We're gonna overload those disenchants. Hit me. 15. Alright.
Make it people.
Alright, people.
Go.
Put you in a bind.
Yep.
You're at 17. Well, 3 for this.
Yep.
2 for this. Go. That's what I'm gonna be doing this game. 12.
Go. I'm going to name. Maybe I should have looked at the deck list. Is there a card? I definitely have 4 copies. Source of Blushers.
A Okay, so does it go? Does it get milled?
Oh yeah, it does get milled.
If the card named, if that is the card name, put it in. Otherwise, put it in the graveyard. Okay. So you're gonna take 2. You're gonna go to 15. Bind you.
Yep.
Tough. 13. So I'm dealing you 4 a turn. Doesn't seem like that much. Nudge.
So if I tap my add a card here and go to 12, that puts me on a 3-turn clock.
Yeah.
Where are you at right now?
12.
No, so you would also be on a 3-turn clock.
Yep.
And potentially subject to change. I can't really play this, I don't think. I need to just keep moving here. Maybe Incinerate gets me in range. You're not going to cast anything for the rest of the game, almost certainly. All right, I'll take a point and make it people.
12 up.
Still back to me.
Yep.
Also, I guess I could potentially hit with the Arcanix.
That's true. Maybe 8.
So, again, 4. Hit 4. 6. No, actually 2. I think this is better. Play another Blinking Spirit.
Okay.
Go. All name sorts of plowshares.
10.
Yep.
Yeah. 8.
Yep.
Go. Yeah. Okay. Well, if I were to do that, that would not be good. You've already cast 1. Okay, so you'd be dead in 2. I guess technically not dead in 2 if you draw like swords or Hydroblast or Incinerate. Start there.
Swords to pleasures.
Alright. Nope. So you're at 6. Nope. Mitsu! Incinerate me! Alright. Go. You're at 4.
Yep.
My turn. Wow. Okay.
Yep. Dead.
Hell yeah! Okay. All right. All right. All right. Ah, yeah. You can't do anything with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, the only hope I had is if you Arcanix me and I draw a sword.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. Wasn't there.
3.
That's 3.
They call me Carmelo to the dome. Game 5. Game 5 to put a wrap on this video right after this. All right, game 5. I've already sealed it up. Spiders up 3-1, looking to humiliate. Good luck.
Man, long day at the office.
I know.
So
I know. But never enough time. Never not enough time, excuse me, to play some Magic. And take a little, got the radar on this one here. Okay. Oh, yeah. This is how you resolve
yeah,
this.
give me a little wash.
Yeah. Bang. Slow tripping.
All right.
Do it.
Go.
Let's get back to the core of the deck.
It's in.
Go. The Woolly Bully.
Go.
Oh, yeah. Here he comes. Cooking. Patrick is at 17.
Go. Go. I'll pick it up.
Yup. 4. Your turn.
Yeah, no.
13.
That's 1,000. Ugh.
Yeah, that's it. Alright. Knuckleheads.
Block 1, pick it up.
You're 11.
Mm-hmm.
No reds. Okay. God. Kaboom.
Go.
It's hard to watch. Well,
Oh no. Oh no.
well, I didn't mean to do that, but
Oh no. I'll pick it up.
5.
Yep.
You're at 6. Go.
I hope Eugene's watching this somewhere smiling. Watching this get pounded. Pounded. Stormbind.
One good card in my deck, really?
Alright. Let me think here. So you have a draw step. And then you hit me to 4. Or 2. 1?
You're at 6. So
Alright, so 1. It's 1 either way. Okay. Man. Tough day at the office, I gotta say.
I want to get Jokulhaups pretty bad. Just seems like it'd be fun. Okay. Let's see how we do here. Good.
Go.
This can't be it. All right.
You tell me in turn. I'll show you my hand. You tell me if I had a better play.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. Oh, I don't have a better one.
I'll pick it up.
Yep.
1.
Go.
Can't even cast the Jokulhaups. I guess I'm still drawing the Zerand Orb.
You
Maybe.
are. You
Yeah.
are drawing a Zorn Orb. You are.
Come on! Ah!
Immune. Got a big old butt.
Oh my god.
Kobe. What a deck. What a deck the spider deck is.
Man.
And more importantly,
I got my ass beat.
more importantly, your deck is terrible. Or maybe this was just genius deck building from Olle Rade.
Oh,
Could be
man.
Those games were not. The one game you won, you had to
Barely.
kill. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I had to play my ass off and get lucky to get one.
Whew, boy. Woolly spider, giant trapdoor spider, and really we call this the MVP right here. This is Stormbind, everybody.
Oh, I read Gargoyle. It's so funny how bad it is against Stormbind.
Yeah, that's awful. Awful. I mean, the win conditions in that deck just cannot defeat Stormbind.
It just locked me out of his draw step forever.
Yeah, just unbelievable. All right, I win 4-1. Recap in our other studio right after this. All right, everybody, we are back here for the wrap up of Pro Tour Columbus 1996. Real quick though, got to hear from our friends over at Coalesce Apparel and Design. You can head over to coalesceapparel.shop, the #1 source for Magic the Gathering inspired apparel, to check out their selection of shirts, hoodies, stickers, playmats, and a whole bunch more. If you find something you like, be sure to use promo code Resleevables at checkout to save 10% off your order. Coalesce Apparel and Design, nobody made what they wanted, so they made it themselves. All right. How'd that beatdown taste?
Very frustrating. Because there's a bunch of games where I felt just on the cusp of stabilizing.
Mm-hmm.
And just one threat that was hard to interact with, like a deadly insect or a Stormbind that slipped through the cracks, was just enough to break me down before I was able to turn the corner.
So you know what's interesting about this? I've been thinking about this particular format and stuff like that. Fleischman stack has 2 copies of Force of Will.
Mm-hmm.
And when we think of Force of Will nowadays, we think of a card that is quite literally keeping formats together, you know? But as you like to say, everything within deck building and metagames and stuff is contextual. So, you know, Force of Will, obviously there's, in Legacy nowadays and Vintage and stuff, you know, there's Brainstorm and, you know, all these ways to draw cards and all this other stuff. So it's not really that much card disadvantage, and it's also kind of necessary. But I imagine if you just told someone there was an Ice Age Alliances Pro Tour, it's like, well, I might start my deck with 4 copies of Force of Will. You'd be very wrong.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, who's doing anything that justifies playing 2 cards? And remember, in Ice Age, you can play with Counterspell and Power Sync.
Yep.
So you have good 1-for-1 counterspells if you want to do that sort of thing.
Yep.
Force of Will, you know, it makes sense. People are going to laugh at this, of course. It does make some sense with Mind Warp. That's something that's... Well, no, I'm not kidding, because you spend all your mana, right?
Yeah.
If they have a response, you want to fight over it.
Yep.
And if they top deck something good, you want to fight over it.
Yep.
And, you know, 2 copies is... We're not talking about 4. And the games are played at a slow enough pace that hard casting it is not that bad in the scheme of things.
Yeah.
So I think 2 is a reasonable number to me.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's just, when we think of Force of Will, we think of a very expensive, busted card.
Yeah,
You know?
it's a little... So Doomsday on turn 1 is a little bit different than Giant Trapdoor Spider on turn 2.
But
in terms of how quickly do you need to respond to what's happening?
is it though?
You know, reasonable people can disagree, but you know, there's a little bit more pressure in the first example to have some interaction.
Now, truth be told, I know some people I think got to see Storm Shaman in action, which
wasn't even that bad in those games, though.
It wasn't as bad as I thought it would.
Wasn't even that bad.
End of the day, Stormbind's awesome.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it. You know, and it contorted the way that I played the games and you played the games.
Yeah,
and that's pretty much it. The other cards are all kind of ancillary. You know, Fyndhorn Elves is good. Mana was pretty good. Stuff like that. But Stormbind was fantastic.
What's cool about Stormbind in this tournament, in comparison to all the other matches we've played leading up to this point, there aren't a whole lot of cards in Magic's early history where your opponent resolves them and your reaction is, I got to hurry up. Or the game has shifted in a way that is dramatic.
Yeah.
there's a lot, even in the aggressive decks early on, we're talking about Serendipity, Freed, and Ernamjan, just stuff where you have some amount of time to do something about it. You can catch back up if it goes the wrong way. And Stormbind is just so intense if the game is just meandering along.
Yeah.
And all these decks are just doing exactly that. They're just trying to thaw in glaciers and eventually win some sort of counterspell war over some haymaker, or just be able to Jokulhaups and float enough mana to play a Blinking Spirit or whatever. And Stormbind is a little bit of a paradigm shift in those sort of games.
Speaking of previous games that we have played, scoreboard. Let's take a look at it. 1994 World Championship. Patrick beat my brains in 4-1. Then we played the 1995 World Championship 3-2 in Patrick's favor. But here I come, Pro Tour New York 1996. I win 3-2. Patrick wins Pro Tour Los Angeles 3-2, and now a little 4-1 for me, for Pro Tour Columbus 1996. So we're keeping scores fun, but it feels nice to get a decisive win on this.
So my count right now is it's 13-12 in games in my favor.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're right.
As close as it can get.
Not bad.
That's as close as it can get.
All right.
You 3-2 me next time, and then we're actually tied.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's
Hashtag
go.
goals.
Yeah, we got
Hashtag goals.
Yeah, we're heating up.
Sponsorship callouts. Let's do it up. Let's show a little bit here. Because the episode's coming to an end. So you can subscribe on YouTube, where you can find our most recent episodes of the regular Resleevables, where we've covered Tempest and Stronghold out now. You can find snippets of our Unsleeved podcast, which we'll talk about more, how you can get the full episodes via Patreon, and you can watch our Crack-a-Pack videos and win a pack. You want to tell them how they can do that?
Absolutely. First order of business, head over to patreon.com/Resleevables. That's our page. You can subscribe at a variety of tiers for a variety of benefits. Something that comes along at the $10 and $25 tier is that you are automatically put into raffles for the booster pack that we give away after our pack openings. It's fully automated. You don't need to notify us or anything. You are just thrown into the barrel of slips or ping pong balls or however we draw it out.
Frozen envelopes.
And every single time we do a pack opening, one of our lucky Patreons receives the booster of the set in question.
Simple, easy. Also on Patreon, depending on what tier you're at, you'll get access to the Unsleeved podcast. Whole entire episodes, we do one every single week, sometimes 2 a week if we're in the mood for it. So that's our Patreon exclusive podcast. And of course, you're going to get access to early releases of both the Resleevables Tournament Edition, and our Crack-a-Pack videos that Patrick has mentioned. If you're a Twitter user, you can of course follow us at the Resleevables on Twitter, where we post fun things about cookies and lime scooters and goodness, who knows what else, but we like to joke around over there. And for our sponsors, of course, we got to shout out Tales of Adventure. Eternal lives there. Promo code Resleevables for 5% off your order at checkout. Coalesce Apparel and Design. Nobody made what we wanted, so we made it ourselves. Use the promo code Resleevables to get 10% off at checkout. And Brian Colville's wonderful YouTube channel, Bosch and Roll, where he plays Eternal every single weekday. All right, everybody, what's next? Well, for the regular Resleevables, we got to finish off a Tempest block.
Mm-hmm.
So Exodus is coming up next, which I'm very much looking forward to. And, just in case y'all were wondering, because Patrick's pretty good at this, here's one. There's another one over here somewhere. I think it's this one. No, that's Urza Saga. I got the full Urza block in my hand.
Just our pile of Urza Saga boosters,
There's Nexus booster. It's down there somewhere.
Yeah,
Trust
whatever.
Me. We got
it. Don't worry.
I promise. So that's going to be the Crack-a-Pack we do for Exodus in addition to that episode. And then for the Resleevables Tournament Edition, we'll be doing the 1996 World Championships, where the format was Booster Draft, Standard, and Type 1.5, which is extended, you've informed me.
I think it's extended. It's basically extended, but they banned just the plausibly playable creatures.
Okay.
It's like Kurt banned, Hypnotic Spectre banned, Juggernaut banned.
Okay.
That's my recollection.
It's also apparently, from my notes, the smallest Pro Tour ever. And you would think the Pro Tour that we just covered is the smallest Pro Tour ever. Wrong. So that's something to keep an eye out for. But the last thing I'll tell you about, which is a Patreon exclusive benefit, is that you have the ability to help us choose the second match that we play on an episode of the Resleevables Tournament Edition if you are a $5, $10, or $25 patron. So what does that mean? That means that we put up a nice little top 4 or top 8 bracket, and we say, hey, we already know what matchup we're going to play, which is the finals, but if you want to help us vote on the other matchup that we play, which will be only available for you on Patreon, you can do that here as a member of our Patreon. So what we're going to show you on our way out the door is a little bit of footage of us playing our other match here from Pro Tour Columbus 1996. Thanks for watching.
10 to 3. Say.
I'm at 3. No blocks. There we go. There we go. Oh, that's all right. So I'm definitely gonna make a personal response. Oh, that dog can still hunt. All right.